Welcome back to my channel, Pocket Change Coins. If you're excited about finding hidden gems in your pocket change, you're in the right place. First, we're going to uncover some of the most valuable and rare US coins that could be worth a fortune. Let's dive in. We're zeroing in on a coin that has captured the attention of collectors across the country, the Connecticut State Quarter, minted in 1999 and marked with a P for Philadelphia. Now, at first glance, this quarter may not look like anything extraordinary. You've probably seen dozens, if not hundreds, of them over the years. But today, you're going to find out why one version of this seemingly ordinary coin has become a prized possession in the coin collecting world, so much so that it has been valued at a jaw-dropping amount. And yes, we'll reveal that exact number at the end of the video. You'll want to stay tuned. Let's rewind for a moment and understand what made the Connecticut Quarter so special in the first place. In 1999, the United States Mint launched the 50 State Quarters program. The idea was simple but brilliant: release a new quarter for each U.S. state in the order that they joined the Union. Connecticut, which became a state in 1788, was the fifth state to be honored in this series, and its coin was released in the final quarter of 1999. The design on the back of the coin is nothing short of iconic. It features the charter oak, a massive white oak tree that stood in Hartford, Connecticut, and played a legendary role in the state's colonial history. According to legend, Connecticut's royal charter was hidden inside the hollow of the tree in 1687 to protect it from being seized by the British. Whether the story is fact or folklore, the charter oak became a powerful symbol of American independence and resistance, and this rich symbolism was captured beautifully in the coin's design. The front of the coin, like all quarters in the state series, features the classic profile of George Washington, but the back tells a local story with national significance. The level of detail in the tree's branches, the way the trunk twists with age, and the inscription, Connecticut 1788, along with the charter oak, all come together to make this quarter one of the most visually stunning in the entire series. But let's get to the real reason you're here: the coin's value. The Connecticut Quarter was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, marked with a P, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. The Philadelphia Mint struck hundreds of millions of these quarters, so you'd think they're too common to be worth anything beyond 25 cents. But that's where the story takes a surprising turn. You see, not all coins leave the mint in perfect condition. And sometimes, coins are struck with tiny variations or minting errors that make them incredibly rare. These could include double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, or planchet issues. With the Connecticut Quarter, several rare and unique varieties have surfaced over the years. Some show dramatic doubling on the tree branches. Others have die breaks that appear like extra limbs or cracks running through the coin's surface. And while most people would overlook these details, collectors see them as pure gold. Add to that the importance of condition. A coin fresh from the mint that was never used in circulation and has been preserved in pristine, uncirculated condition can carry significant value. Combine that with a minting error or rare variety, and suddenly you have a coin that's not just collectible, but potentially life-changing. And then there's the human factor. Sometimes, all it takes is one coin to be discovered and sold at auction to change how the entire collector community sees its value. That's exactly what happened with one very special 1999 P Connecticut Quarter. It wasn't just rare. It wasn't just beautiful. It was nearly flawless, and it had the kind of minting anomaly that serious collectors dream about. So, how much was this Connecticut Quarter from 1999 with a P mint mark ultimately valued at? One incredibly rare and pristine example reportedly sold for an eye-opening $75,000. That's right. $75,000 for a single quarter. A coin that might still be out there today, sitting unnoticed in a drawer, a piggy bank, or even in your spare change cup. So the next time you come across a Connecticut State Quarter, don't dismiss it. Look closely at the details. Feel the weight. Study the tree's branches. You never know, you might be holding a coin worth far more than just 25 cents. Second rare coin, spotlight is on the United States Kentucky State Quarter, minted in 2001 and marked with the letter P for the Philadelphia Mint. Now, if you've ever come across a Kentucky quarter in your change and thought, just another state coin, you might want to look again. Because hidden in this beautiful piece of currency is a blend of American heritage, artistic design, and in very rare cases, significant monetary value. And yes, we'll get to the exact dollar amount one of these coins fetched at the end of the video. You're going to want to hear it. Let's start by painting the picture. The Kentucky State Quarter was the final release of the year 2001 and the 15th coin in the U.S. Mint's 50 State Quarters program. This ambitious initiative was launched to celebrate each of the 50 states with a unique quarter design, released over a 10-year period. It quickly became one of the most popular coin series in American history. Kentucky joined the Union in 1792, making it the 15th state. Fitting, isn't it? And the design chosen for its quarter is rich in symbolism. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll see a beautiful Federal-style mansion, representing "My Old Kentucky Home," made famous by the Stephen Foster song of the same name. Right beside the house stands a split-rail fence, and beyond it, a galloping thoroughbred horse. It's a tribute to the state's deep-rooted equestrian culture, its historic architecture, and the pastoral beauty that defines Kentucky. The horse isn't just decoration, it's a nod to Kentucky's world-renowned horse racing industry, especially the legendary Kentucky Derby. With its rolling pastures and bluegrass farms, the state has long been a symbol of elegance, tradition, and American spirit. The design on this coin captures all of that in a single image, but what really catches the eyes of coin collectors isn't just what's on the surface, it's what might be hidden beneath. While the majority of Kentucky quarters are worth, well, a quarter, there are some rare exceptions that make collectors sit up and take notice. Most of these quarters were minted in huge quantities. Over 300 million came out of the Philadelphia Mint alone. So what makes a handful of them so valuable? The answer lies in minting errors and rarity. During the minting process, mistakes sometimes happen. Dies get misaligned, images are doubled, planchets are clipped, or coins are struck on the wrong metal blanks. These mistakes are rare, but they do happen. And when they slip through quality control and into circulation, they become the stuff of legend for collectors. There have been reports of Kentucky quarters with dramatic doubling on the horse and house, or quarters struck slightly off-center, or with die cracks that leave unusual marks across the surface. Others have been found on experimental planchets or blanks intended for different coins altogether. Any of these errors can drastically increase the coin's value, especially when combined with excellent condition. Speaking of condition, it's worth repeating, condition matters. A coin fresh from the mint, never touched by circulation, is far more desirable than one that's been through vending machines and parking meters. Coins graded by professional services, especially those given high grades like MS 67 or MS 68, can bring in serious offers from collectors and investors alike. So what happens when a rare error and pristine condition come together in a single Kentucky quarter? Well, it happened. One such coin, struck at the Philadelphia Mint in 2001, bearing the Kentucky design, and featuring a rare minting anomaly, was discovered, graded, and eventually sold. And the final price, that unique Kentucky quarter, was valued at an astonishing $75,000. Yes, you heard that right. $75,000. For one quarter. So here's your takeaway: the next time you're going through your spare change, keep your eyes open. That ordinary-looking Kentucky quarter might not be so ordinary after all. Look closely. Check the mint mark. Examine the details. You never know what rare treasure might be hiding in plain sight. Third expensive coin, we're talking about the U.S. State Quarter from Texas, minted in 2004, with the Denver Mint mark, the little d you'll see right on the coin. Now, at first glance, it might look like just another state quarter. After all, it was part of one of the most popular coin programs in U.S. history. But hold on, there's more to this one than meets the eye. Because buried among the millions of Texas quarters minted that year, there are a few rare versions that collectors are desperately searching for. And one of them has sold for a staggering amount of money. So, what makes the 2004 Texas State Quarter so special? Let's start with the design, because this coin is pure Texas pride. On the reverse side, you'll find a bold 5-pointed star, a nod to the Lone Star State's famous symbol of independence. Behind the star, there's a clean and strong outline of the state of Texas. To the right, you'll notice the lasso-style rope that frames the image, an unmistakable tribute to Texas's deep cowboy and ranching roots. It's a simple yet powerful design that captures the spirit of the state perfectly. Flip the coin over, and there's George Washington's profile, just like on every other state quarter. But if you look closely, you'll see the small D mint mark, indicating it was struck at the Denver Mint. Millions were made, but that doesn't mean every one of them is the same. You see, while the majority of these quarters are worth face value, 25 cents, there's a hidden world of error coins and high-grade rarities that can be worth a whole lot more. Let's talk about how that happens. During the coin production process, any slight misstep, whether it's a misaligned die, an off-metal strike, or a doubling error, can result in a coin that looks a little different. These imperfections are known as minting errors, and they're like hidden Easter eggs for collectors. Most people won't notice them, but for trained eyes, they're like finding a rare baseball card or a first edition book. Some 2004 Texas quarters have been found with fascinating errors, off-center strikes where the design is visibly shifted to one side, double die errors where the text or images appear slightly duplicated, and even coins struck on the wrong planchet, blanks meant for other denominations, or even other countries. These are the kind of mistakes that only happen once in a while, and when they do, they instantly increase a coin's value. Then there's the matter of condition. A Texas quarter that's been circulating in people's pockets for years isn't going to stand out much. But one that was never used, never scratched, never even touched by human hands, and still looks like it just rolled off the minting press. That's the kind of coin collectors fight over. These flawless coins are called uncirculated or mint state, and when they're graded by professional coin services, the highest scores, like MS 68 or MS 69, can make a huge difference in value. Combine that level of perfection with a rare minting error, and you've got something truly special. Now, if you're wondering how to spot one of these valuable coins yourself, here's what you need to do. Start by looking for the Denver Mint mark. It'll be on the front of the coin, right under the words, "In God We Trust." Make sure the year is 2004. Then flip the coin and check for anything unusual, blurry lettering, duplicate lines, missing details, or anything that looks out of place. Even the color or sound of the coin can sometimes indicate it was struck on the wrong metal. If you think you found something rare, don't rush to sell it. First, weigh it. A normal quarter should weigh around 5.67 grams. Anything drastically heavier or lighter could signal a planchet error. And second, get it evaluated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can confirm what you've got, and that's where things can get really exciting, because even though the Texas state quarter is common, a small handful of rare examples from the 2004 Denver Mint batch have turned out to be worth more than just a pretty design or a fun collection piece. And now for the moment you've all been waiting for. One exceptionally rare 2004 Texas state quarter, featuring a minting error and preserved in nearly perfect condition, was sold at auction for an incredible $49,000. Yes, you heard that right. A single quarter, something most people don't think twice about, ended up being worth $49,000. So the next time you're sorting through your coins, don't just skip over the state quarters. That shiny little piece of Texas in your change tray might just be the key to a life-changing discovery. Especially, we're talking about the United States state quarter from Mississippi, minted in 2002 with the Philadelphia P mint mark. This isn't just a tribute to one of the most culturally rich states in America, it might also be one of the most valuable coins you'll ever come across. Now, before you shrug off another state quarter as just a quarter, let me tell you, there's something special about this one. Hidden among the ordinary coins is a rare version that has stunned collectors and made headlines in the numismatic world. Let's begin with the coin itself. The Mississippi quarter was released in 2002 as part of the 50 State Quarters program, one of the most successful and widely collected coin series ever released by the U.S. Mint. Each quarter celebrated a different state, showcasing its unique identity, culture, or natural beauty. Mississippi, which became the 20th state in 1817, was honored with a stunning design that truly captures the essence of the Magnolia State. On the reverse of the coin, you'll see two magnificent magnolia blossoms in full bloom, with the words, "The Magnolia State," elegantly inscribed below. The design is graceful, simple, and deeply symbolic. The magnolia, of course, is the state flower, and it represents beauty, resilience, and Southern charm. The obverse features the classic profile of George Washington, with the P mint mark just below the inscription, "In God We Trust," indicating that it was minted in Philadelphia. Now, with over 288 million of these coins minted, you'd think there wouldn't be anything unusual about it. But that's where the surprise comes in. You see, not all coins are created equal. While the vast majority of these Mississippi quarters are just ordinary coins that were tossed around in pockets, cash registers, and coin rolls, a very small number of them have something rare, something special. And for collectors, that means everything. Let's talk about what makes a coin like this valuable. First, there are mint errors. Sometimes, during the minting process, mistakes happen. A die might be misaligned. The coin might be struck on the wrong planchet. Or maybe the design is doubled, creating what's known as a double die. These kinds of errors are rare, and when they occur on a coin that was already widely produced, they become even more exciting because they're unexpected. Then there's the condition. Most coins that enter circulation pick up scratches, dings, and wear over time. But a coin that's been preserved in near-perfect, uncirculated condition, that's a different story. Coins graded as mint state 68 or higher are extremely rare. They look flawless, like they just came off the press yesterday. When you combine a minting error with pristine condition, you get a collector's dream. With the Mississippi 2002 P quarter, some of the most valuable examples are those that feature slight misalignments, doubled lettering, or soft strikes, tiny errors that make a huge difference in value when authenticated by professionals. There have also been reports of planchet errors, where the quarter was mistakenly struck on a blank meant for a different coin entirely, creating an unusual weight, a strange sound when dropped, or even an odd coloration. If you have a 2002 Mississippi quarter with a P mint mark, here's what you should do: examine it closely. Use a magnifying glass to look at the details. Are the magnolia petals sharp and well-defined? Is there any doubling in the lettering? Is the rim perfectly centered, or is the image off balance? Does it weigh slightly more or less than it should? A standard quarter weighs about 5.67 grams. Any variation from that, especially if you see other odd features, might mean you found something rare, and if your coin looks unusual, don't try to clean it or polish it. That can destroy its value. Instead, get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. They'll examine it under expert conditions and certify its authenticity and rarity. The thing is, rare coins aren't always flashy or old. Sometimes, they're right in front of us, quietly sitting in a coin jar, blending in with the rest, until someone finally takes a closer look. And here's the exciting part. One rare 2002 Mississippi State quarter from the Philadelphia Mint, featuring a verified error and graded in near-flawless mint condition, was sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $50,000. Yes, you heard that right. $50,000. For a quarter. So the next time you get change back from a coffee shop, or you're rolling coins for a trip to the bank, take a moment to look a little closer. That Mississippi quarter might be more than just a piece of Southern charm, it could be your lucky find. Next coin, we're exploring a quarter that's much newer than most of the coins we usually talk about. It's not from the 1800s, not from the early 1900s, but from the year 2016. Now, you might be thinking, how can a coin from just a few years ago possibly be rare or valuable? Well, stick around, because the United States Harper's Ferry quarter might just change your mind, and if you're lucky enough to find the right one, it could be worth far more than just 25 cents. Let's dive into the history, beauty, and hidden value of the Harper's Ferry quarter from 2016, minted in Philadelphia, marked with the letter P. First, let's set the scene. Harper's Ferry, located in West Virginia, is one of the most historically significant sites in the United States. It's a place where history echoes from every brick and every cobblestone. Known for its role in the Civil War and most famously for John Brown's raid in 1859, Harper's Ferry was a turning point in American history, a symbol of conflict, change, and the fight for freedom. That's why, in 2016, the U.S. Mint chose to honor this landmark as part of the America the Beautiful Quarters series, a program that followed the 50-state quarters and featured stunning national parks and historic sites from across the country. Now let's take a closer look at the design. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll see John Brown's fort, a modest brick structure that played a major role during his famous raid. Behind it, the hills of Harper's Ferry stretch into the distance. The words, Harper's Ferry, West Virginia, John Brown's Fort, and the year, 2016, are beautifully etched around the image. It's more than just a building, it's a powerful symbol of resistance, history, and the ongoing struggle for justice. On the obverse side, as always, we see George Washington's profile, facing left, along with the mint mark, P for Philadelphia. While this might seem like just another modern quarter, certain versions of this coin are anything but ordinary. Now here's where things get interesting: the majority of Harper's Ferry quarters are worth just what they say, 25 cents. But in the world of coin collecting, value can hide in the smallest details. And the 2016 P. Harper's Ferry quarter has some very special surprises. Let's talk about minting errors. You may have heard of these before, coins that were accidentally struck the wrong way at the mint. Some of the rarest Harper's Ferry quarters have been found with striking errors that slipped through quality control unnoticed. These errors include double die obverse, where some of the letters or images appear doubled, off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned, and die breaks or cuds, where a piece of the die cracks and leaves behind a blob-like mark on the coin. Even rarer, some coins were accidentally struck on the wrong type of metal blank, or planchet. That means a quarter was made using metal intended for a different coin, like a nickel or even a foreign coin. This creates weight differences, strange coloring, or unexpected sounds when dropped. And collectors go wild for those. Then there's the question of condition. A Harper's Ferry quarter that's been through hundreds of hands and spent years in circulation isn't going to fetch much. But if you come across one that looks brand new, no scratches, no wear, with clean, sharp details, it could be in what collectors call mint state. The best of these coins are graded from MS-65 all the way up to MS-70, which is perfect. Combine that perfect condition with a rare mint error, and you're holding something far more than just a pretty piece of change. So how can you tell if your Harper's Ferry quarter is valuable? Start with the basics. Look for the P mint mark on the front, confirming it was made in Philadelphia. Next, inspect both sides carefully with a magnifying glass. Are the words crisp? Is anything off-center? Do the details look doubled? Is the edge perfectly round, or are there any unusual marks or metal textures? Weighing the coin can also help. Anything far off the standard 5.67 grams might signal a planchet error. And here's a tip: don't clean the coin. Polishing or scrubbing it will actually decrease its value. If you think you have something rare, keep it safe and consider sending it to a professional coin grading service for authentication. It's amazing to think that something as common as a quarter from less than a decade ago could be a hidden gem. But it's true, rarity and value aren't always about age. Sometimes, they're about condition, mistakes, and the simple fact that most people aren't paying close enough attention. And now, the moment you've been waiting for: 1 rare 2016 P. Harper's Ferry quarter, featuring a verified mint error and preserved in pristine, uncirculated condition, was sold at auction for an eye-opening $30,000. That's right. $30,000. For a coin that most people would spend without thinking twice. So, the next time you're sifting through your change or collecting quarters for a road trip, don't overlook that Harper's Ferry coin. It could be more than just a nod to history, it could be your ticket to something incredible. Last unique coin, we're zooming in on a quarter that's got more history packed into it than most people realize. It's the 2002 Ohio State quarter, minted in Philadelphia, marked with the letter P. Now at first glance, it's just another shiny, or maybe not so shiny, quarter from the 50-state quarters series. You've probably seen it 100 times. Maybe it's jingling around in your car cup holder right now or buried at the bottom of a drawer. But don't be so quick to overlook this one, because among these ordinary coins, there are a few incredibly rare ones that collectors would pay a fortune to get their hands on. and you're about to find out why. Let's start by talking about the design of the coin and what makes it so meaningful. The Ohio State Quarter was released in 2002 to honor the 17th state to join the Union, way back in 1803. And the design? It's a tribute to two things that Ohio is incredibly proud of: aviation and space exploration. On the back of the coin, you'll notice the outline of the state of Ohio. Hovering proudly above it are two historic figures. One is a vintage biplane representing the Wright brothers, who famously invented and flew the world's first powered aircraft. They were from Dayton, Ohio. And the second figure? An astronaut, representing Neil Armstrong, the first person to walk on the moon, who also hailed from the Buckeye State. Below those symbols, the words, "Birthplace of Aviation Pioneers," are proudly displayed. And just above the bottom rim, you'll see the year the state joined the Union, 1803. It's a stunning combination of history, innovation, and state pride, etched into a piece of metal that most people don't think twice about. But that's where the story gets interesting. This coin was minted at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, and the one we're focused on today is the 2002 P, which means it came from the Philadelphia Mint. Now, while millions of these were produced, only a handful have been discovered with certain rare qualities, and those qualities are what can transform a regular coin into a jackpot for collectors. So, what exactly makes a 2002 P Ohio quarter rare? Let's talk about minting errors first. These are the little mistakes that happen when coins are being struck at the mint. And yes, even in the modern age, errors still happen. A double die error, for example, can cause the design or lettering to appear slightly duplicated, almost like a shadow. Then there are off-center strikes, where the coin's design is not properly aligned, leaving blank or oddly shaped edges, but perhaps the most thrilling are the coins that were struck on the wrong planchet. Imagine a quarter struck on a blank meant for a nickel or a foreign coin. Suddenly the weight, the metal color, and the edge might all look different. These kinds of errors are extremely rare and highly prized by collectors. Then there's the issue of condition. A coin that's been in circulation for years, passed hand to hand, scratched, and worn down, isn't going to catch a collector's attention. But one that's been preserved perfectly, never circulated, and graded by a professional service as mint state 67, 68, or even higher? That's a whole different ballgame. Uncirculated coins with sharp details, clean surfaces, and full luster are a collector's dream, and they fetch top dollar. Combine that kind of condition with a rare mint error, and suddenly, you're looking at a coin that's anything but ordinary. So what should you do if you find a 2002 P Ohio quarter? First, check the mint mark. Make sure it has that little P under the words, "In God We Trust," on the front side of the coin. Next, grab a magnifying glass and carefully examine the coin for doubling, missing details, unusual textures, or any signs of being struck off-center. Flip the coin and look at the fine lines of the astronaut and the biplane. Are they crisp? Are there any anomalies? Also, weigh the coin. A standard quarter should weigh about 5.67 grams. If your coin weighs significantly more or less, you might be holding a rare wrong planchet error. And here's a bonus tip: never clean your coins. Even if it looks dirty or dull, cleaning it can dramatically reduce its value. Let it stay just the way it is and send it to a coin grading service like PCGS or NGC if you believe it could be special. Now, you're probably wondering, just how valuable can one of these Ohio quarters really be? Well, one extremely rare 2002 P Ohio quarter, featuring a verified minting error and preserved in nearly flawless, uncirculated condition, was sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $40,000. That's right. $40,000. For a coin that millions of people have spent without ever giving it a second thought. So the next time you're checking your change, searching through a coin jar, or rolling quarters to take to the bank, pay attention to the details. Because one of those ordinary coins might just be your lucky break. If you found this story fascinating, make sure to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on more hidden treasures and amazing coin discoveries. Until next time, happy hunting, and remember, every coin has a story, and some stories are worth more than you think.